there? Okay, back again, another live stream, and gonna go back to work on the little fan. oh, something. There we go. Yeah, I've got Cam 2 out in the garage ready for when I go out there. I got to drill some holes, and it's just aimed at some stuff out there right now. But what I was actually trying to do is that. It's early in the morning, 7:14. I woke up at a little after 3, and so got going and waiting for did some stuff on the computer while I was waiting for the sun to come up. So anyway, well, I'm always coughing. I was gonna say, gonna give that as an excuse for why I was coughing so much, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so that's kind of the way I was thinking I might do the fan. Put that new fan in there and screw it down into that. That's actually a heat sink. It's not much of one, but that's what it is for that GPU for the my what I call the RedBlackBioStar. It has a BioStar motherboard, a 1.8 gigahertz Intel dual core processor. It was my main machine for years. Now it's kind of, I just keep it with my Fedora 14 on there because it has so many apps that I like, and a lot of them are, well, a lot of them that are not available anymore, or I can't find them or whatever in Fedora, the newer versions. And plus it has 4 hard drives in it full of all my, files and stuff. And so anyway, it's been making a noise that drives me nuts, and for years actually, and I just thought it was the CPU fan, and I just needed to put another one in it. Well, it turns out once I got it open and really started listening around, it was the GPU fan, the video card fan. So that's what that is you're looking at there. So I'm going to just use that camera right now because to show what I want to show, and figure out what I want to figure out. And then I'll go outside. Hopefully, my plan will go as according to plan, and I'll go out there, and I'm going to be drilling a few holes, I think, to be able to mount it. But let me get on the other mic.
So
let me get on the wireless.
Get on the wireless. And okay, I haven't even checked my sound yet. I've got my preview playing like usual. Okay, yeah, that looks good. I think I will leave it playing while I'm working to help me realize what's going on while I'm in here anyway. And yeah, I should I just remembered, well, I'm not going to be, when I go to assemble it or well, I may want to move my table over where I can actually look at my preview, the big preview. The preview on the laptop would be fine of my live stream if it wasn't so delayed. But anyway. Now what I had just about decided on was, drilling some holes through here and countersinking some screws from the backside, and then put nuts on top to hold it together. But I got to thinking, yeah, that'll probably that'll tell me. Let's move this, dropping everything. That's why I use those little, well, you can't see everything. I'm used to being able for you to be able to see more. Anyway, there's the CPU on that thing, and I kind of looked at that before, and then I remembered it this morning, I think, after when I got up. Okay, yeah, it looks like it will clear. What I was worried about is if my holes that I drill in my screw heads, I mean, I can countersink them and get them flush by, just sanding the back of this. I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to wipe that off, if I end up doing that. Well, either way, I probably want to wipe that off, but I was trying to save that paste. But So I may as well wipe them off. I can just use new paste. I got it on me, I don't know how many times yesterday. But, yeah, that, okay, that might be okay then, because I can get them flush, but what I was worried about is, well, if I get my countersinks a little too deep and they're not, then I don't have I was afraid I wouldn't have a full surface area to touch that CPU. And that's the only thing that has to be touched, though, is the actual CPU. So let's just wipe them off so that I've been avoiding and avoiding and avoiding. And trying to figure out which. I got 2 paper towels ready to use here. Well, dang it. Bumping into everything. And now it's all cooled down again. Yesterday I guess, I don't know how it could have made that much difference. Me handling, I was handling the devices, and it seemed to warm that stuff up and make it really sticky, so that when I first started messing with it, you could touch the paste and it wouldn't really come off unless you rubbed it hard, you know. And then it got to where it, I should go ahead and do them both right now so I won't forget and touch everything over and over. Yeah, I think it was kind of dry anyway. And since I have a nice big tube of it, I like to save everything I can, as long as I can. Got some plumb off on the side there. Surely I can wipe that out. Why does it not want to come out of there? Don't understand. Maybe it's not CPU. Yeah, it is CPU paste. Okay. It was just up in between those, but you can hear that rattling. That's aluminum. You can hear that clanging sound when I set it down. But yeah. So when that's in there, kind of centered in here, then I'll hold it down and mark it or do something to be able to mark. Well, the best way to always, when you want to do something, you really want to locate something close. You want your holes to be accurate. Drill your, get it down, hold it, or if you need to, clamp it. You don't want to put a heavy clamp on a little plastic fan, of course, so I'd probably hold it and mark it, like with a scribe. And then take my center punch it, and then drill a hole and put 1 screw in. Then you can you can leave it a little bit loose so that you can move things around, get it the rest of them where you want them, and then you can actually it's best to do another one. At least if you do one, then you can usually get by with the rest. Depending on how big your screw, these are going to be machine screws, so probably unless I change my mind and use sheet metal screws. And actually, that's so thin though. I thought you could use sheet metal screws. Well, not if I'm going to put them, counterstick them on the back, but you could put them through from the front, from the top, and thread. Well, even if it was machine screws, if I have the right tap. I only have 2 small taps. I think they're number 10s. But anyway, you could put threads in the aluminum instead of using nuts, but it's so thin. I really wouldn't trust it too well. As thin as that is. Look how thin that is. So I've seen things like that. You know, lightweight stuff like this, I've seen it done, but on computers. But and then you could just sand off the screw heads. But that's going to be probably steel, unless I found some aluminum ones. I'd use aluminum if I'd have a few, but probably not the right size. But anyway, you end up getting this all niveted, you know, and then you're not going to get good contact. So really, if I don't have to sand on here, I don't want to. So I probably have to a little bit. I mean, I probably have to a little bit. But those are spread out fairly good. So yeah, as long as my sanding is not in the contact area, that's not a big CPU, GPU. So, yeah, see those screws are actually out almost past the extra piece of circuit board there. So that'll be all right. I was starting to think that that was gonna make me not get good contact, you know, when you put this on. And then I might not want to do that, and I might want to go back to this idea. That's just stuck on there. It's a piece of heatsink that I cut in half and used it on my Raspberry Pi. But I found the holder for this. It was in the box. I was looking at it yesterday. It would definitely be a better heatsink. And the funny, cool thing about it all is that it actually matches up. It's really weird. You can see, it threw me off yesterday because I saw those 4 holes, right? And I just thought, well, they're just using 2 of them. See, there's only 2 screws in here. And it never would match up. And finally, I realized there's these other 2 holes that they put in there. And what it looks to me like, because I've watched a lot of how, you know, educational videos basically on how making circuit boards over the last few years. And this is the original design. Those extra holes are an afterthought, I can guarantee you. Because I've been watching, well, Dave Jones' EV blog. I always forget how to say that. He really teaches some good stuff. He's an engineer over in Australia. He teaches some really good stuff on how all this is done. So anyway, I thought I would go ahead. Why is there a... Oh, that's the shadow of the from the reflection. Look at that. Look how shiny that is. That's actually a pretty cool effect. There we go. But that's not what I want. Let me see if turning on a little light here will help. Yeah, it brings in the light of the... You're not helping me much. That is so wild. Okay, but now I'm seeing... There we go. Let's turn it this way then. I was thinking if I turned it in some way, I would be able to see it. Right there is where it might be able to be read. I can't see it as far away as I am from the... Gets too close, you can't. It gets blurry. So I don't know. Looking back at the video, maybe it'd be able to be read. I was wanting to see what that chip was. Let's see if I can tell. Well, it's too little for me to read, but even with this biggest magnifying glass I got. ATI Radeon. Okay, I can see that, the big part. So it's not an NVIDIA. It's an ATI Radeon. Which is, yeah, Radeon, that's AMD chip. Made in Taiwan. 1013, made in Taiwan. P243500215-07250016. That's the chip. Okay, so, of course, it's nothing special or anything. I showed this yesterday. This is its tag. It's an HD 455X, so and so, so and so, so and so. It's a 512 megabyte, and it has VGA, S-video, and DVI, not HDMI. This was just before HDMI kind of became the de facto, you know, what everybody wanted to put in the machines. And yeah, HDMI is great because it can carry, the cables now can carry audio and video, and Ethernet even. I don't have one like that, but. So anyway, this would match up, and I could drill and tap. This is thicker. So see, I could drill and tap those corners and put screws. That'd be really a good way to mount it, you know. Only one thing I worry about is there's these flanges here on the bottom side. Of course, that's just stuck on there because these things have this particular. I always wondered how they did that. Well, if you see a CPU cooler that has no visible way of it being attached, It's got conductive, heat conductive, sticky tape, double-sided sticky tape on it. And I stuck it on there to keep it clean in case I wanted to use this piece, because I cut this one, yellow one, in half. You see right there, I cut it and sanded it and used it, the other half on my Raspberry Pi. It worked good. I don't even need a fan in it. And it doesn't get overheated like it used to. So, but anyway, this one, if I were to use it, I would get it on there and then mark it and drill it and all that stuff and tap it. And as long as I have screws that'll match my taps that I have, because I'm not going to go buy taps. And this is what actually originally held this down, this clip. Didn't realize how badly out of the video I was. I moved it all around and got everything all out of whack. Let me get it straightened up a little bit. There we go. When I started out, I kind of knew where to be. And then I moved it, trying to show that. Okay, so anyway, it would mount like that, but it'd be a better cooler. And then, well, one of these fans, that was the thing. Like, I probably would have had to use one of these, because I've got a couple of fans that actually belong, the right size for that, but they're old and wore out. I don't think they would work. So one of these fans going kind of like that, because okay, the plug's over on that side. It looks like you could probably screw some screws into those fins to hold it down. That's how they generally do that sort of thing, except for it would need to be turned a little more, I guess. But there's a lot of spaces. See, they're not solid fins, so I don't know. And they're pretty big spaces, bigger than those holes in the mounting holes. It'd be kind of tricky to hit that and get it secured. And it's usually, these kind of fans are made to go down kind of in the CPU cooler, the cooler fins, you know, like this one. And that they kind of blow more out the side than they do up, you know, or down. I've noticed that when I was working on Mom's GPU cooler. I actually ended up buying a set of 3 of these. That's why I have a brand new one. So, yeah, I was thinking I'd like to have, it would be kind of neat to have a bigger heat sink on there, but it would also, it's thick enough. I didn't check it for sure, but I believe it's so thick that it won't, I had my glasses, I guess I could put them on this time. It helps, they actually help me see. I got some safety glasses that are, well, the one, I wear one, what is it? Yeah, 125 magnification of those. Those are not real glasses that I wear. They're magnifying glasses. And I wear 125s in here because that's what I need on the computer. But when I'm actually working with physical objects, I couldn't get anything, you know, these are 150s. That's all I could get, and it turns out that was actually better for me. Let me get this other computer. It was actually better for me for physical objects. So, get the lid off of it. Put it over there. I already had the lid loose. So. Now, let's see. Trying to get. Okay, so here's where that goes in there. Now, if that was in there, try not to snap it down and get it to where I can't. This cable, oh, well, I don't want to do that. For me to work with this, it would be awfully nice if it was not routed the way it is, but it's all right. Will this work? really is in the way, but I want to unplug two or three SATA cables just for right now. Okay, so they're just kind of sitting in that spot. Now, if I were to put that, you know what? It looks like it actually makes it. It fits. Oh, but with the fan on top, it wouldn't fit. Can you see that or not? I lost my. Yeah, you can't see what I'm doing there. There we go. Okay, so it actually does fit. If I wasn't going to use a fan, and that's one thing, you know, I almost think that I don't know, but my guess would be that might be big enough to go without a fan. They do that now. But the thing is, this is probably a hotter running GPU than the newer ones, you know. They have made strides in making them make less heat. And I don't want to, it sure is a neat idea to make it, you know, make no more worries about sound, but I do have brand new fans, so. And they're not, the one, I already used one of them, they're not really loud or anything, so. Okay, yeah, so this would be an experiment. I could put it on there, no fan, and it would fit. But with the fan, there's no way then I would be able to use that other PCI slot. And there's only 2 PCIs in the one VGA AGP slot. That's what kind of slot this video card uses. Okay, so yeah, I don't want to do anything that makes me not be able to use my slots. So, and that is very close. If another card might not fit, you know, one that had more stuff on the side. So I started thinking this input video card. Well, I don't have anything I can connect up to it, but that with like 5 or 6 inputs for video, but it's for well, they used to call it, I still can't think of the right term, but they used to call them closed circuit cameras. That's one of the things they call them. It has BNC connections. And but yeah, see, this one does have, I have 2 of the types of fans that really actually came, one of these came off of this thing, I think. They fit it perfectly. They're, you know, there's places where screws just go right in between the fins on it, where they've been there before. But they're both wore out, I think, because I checked them out last time I was messing with fans. Now, so I guess I can leave this box up here now, for now, and oh, I found a sticker. What did that go to? Fan sticker. I mean, I knew that, but oh, I guess it was in this box. Okay. Yeah, I remember it now. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go with the this one, the one that belongs on it. I actually hit those holes and got it in there. So yeah, and then this fan will be in there, up inside of there, just like it should be. I think that'll work, and yeah, I don't think there'll be worries about. I don't think I'll have to worry about. Yeah, I was thinking, and see, this is Mom's old. It still works, but it makes lots of bad noise. And I tried. Well, I tried to take it apart, but I decided I was going to break it. So I lubricated it, but it never quit making noise. But it's good for, if nothing else, just the cables in case you need to splice those connectors onto another. And of course, if I needed to, I could do it with this one, the one that came out of here. And I won't have that little bit of a shroud, but this just snaps in and out of here. Has that little shroud, and it probably would help some with the airflow, like keeping it going through these little, just single row of fins. But I think from looking at this, there's the CPU, this little thin piece of aluminum, it pulls, you know, it pulls heat up, and then the fan, that and just the fan, about those two together, I think will do fine. This is plastic. It's not any heat sinking to it. This is molded plastic. You're not going to mount that fan in here. They're completely different design. I thought about, well, for one thing, it has 4 holders instead of 3, like this one is. I bought these specifically to fit that mobs, and it used a 3, you know, 3 mounts instead of 4. So actually, that's what I've seen mostly. But anyway, I think what I'm talking about, I'll just do that, and I think I'll put this in the fan box because it is not usable anymore. And yeah, that's all I actually need is that. Get it mounted on there, find my screws, do some drilling, tapping maybe. Well, not tapping. No, I won't tap. I'll just drill holes, put nuts on there. I mean, I can look into it. It depends. A lot of it depends on what I actually have in the way of, you know, screws and nuts and everything. I've got these little plastic coffee can lids, and they're really handy. I got 3 of them inside of here now. You can throw stuff in them when you're working and you don't knock stuff off on the floor, or it doesn't roll, you know. And if you spray something with WD-40, you can use it to contain it, you know, from making a mess. And pretty cool things. Okay, so I'm going to take that out. Yeah, I think I'll put this down on the ground for now. Now I'll leave it up there for now. I may not even need it back down on the ground. So, now I was all ready for going outside, but I have a problem. I need a break. So, yeah, I'm going to have that little break. That was my plan, was to walk straight outside and go to work. That's why that camera's out there running and waiting for me. But, okay, things in your day do change, don't they? Let's see, we'll just go to me now. I was trying to find, why can't I find the other? Oh, I guess that's it, 1 and 2, yeah. It takes a while for that camera to come on. I don't know, oh, there it is. I guess it goes to sleep. I do have it plugged in. Everything, the lighting is completely changed. The sun's shining in there, and now it looks dim on one side and bright on the other. So I'm going to be in the sun. Well, that actually might be good, but I was thinking I was going to have to get out, basically out of the garage and just right in front of my truck to be able to see, because I can't see in the garage with I've got a lot of lights out there, but I can't see to do drilling and stuff. But I might be, there'd be so much sun right there. If it don't blind me, I might be able to just work right in that general area where the camera is. I've got it pointed in the general area where my drill is and everything. But just be out there and ready to go. But now I have to take a break, so I'll just shut down. I'm going to shut down this stream and then start, because, you know, there's no sense in just streaming nothing while I'm taking a break. So shut down this stream, and then I'll start another one when